are you ever going to gain closure about the affair? There's what your partner is saying it is, and there's what you believe it is. You ask them question after question after question, and it leads to question after question after question. They say this happened, you say no, this happened, right? And it makes it so confusing because they are your only source of information. And they're not a very reliable source as of lately. You can't trust them at all. You can't trust what they tell you. All you can trust are your instincts, but your instincts, your intuition is skewed right now. There's a fine line between intuition and paranoia, right? Because when you lose the trust for your partner, you don't just lose the trust for your partner, you also lose the trust for yourself. You don't know what to believe anymore. You can't even trust your neighbor, your coworker anymore, right? And so you don't know what to believe, and you're wondering, well, how am I ever going to gain the closure? Because they tell me this, but it doesn't make sense to me. There has to be more, right? Cheating itself is senseless. That's what you have to remember. There is no sense in the senseless. You're trying to make sense of the senseless. And oftentimes what we do is we go, you know what, that makes no sense why you would do that, because I would never do that. No, you are not the same as your partner. You do not deal with your problems the same as your partner does, as your neighbor does, as your brother or sister, your mother, your father, right? Everybody has their own way of dealing with things and doing things. And so it's so confusing for you because you're going, well, I could never do that. So how could you do that? And so it doesn't make sense to me, so I don't believe you. And I don't conclude that. I need closure here. And it's almost like, I'm not gonna be happy until you tell me what I wanna hear. Until you tell me what my side of the story is, how I see the story. That's what I want you to say. And I'm not gonna get the closure until you give me that. But what happens if they do give you that? What are you going to do with that? A lot of the times we want answers to our questions, but have you ever questioned yourself? What are you going to do with the answer? Ask yourself, do I really want to know this? And why? Is it going to help me? Is it going to benefit me? If my goal is to heal and move forward, what good is knowing this specific question? When you get the answer, it is what you do with it. And a lot of the times we think that once we get the answer from our partner, it's going to give us the closure. But here's what it is. And if you are ready for it, here it is. Only you can give you the closure. Yeah. You are relying on your partner to give you closure. That's never going to happen. You're never going to have closure until you conclude. You must be the one that concludes if you're going to accept that or not. And if you're not going to accept their answers, then why ask the questions? And I'm not saying that just because they give you the answer, what, I'm just supposed to accept that? Again, you have to make sense of it. You have to conclude what that means. If they are not explaining it to where it makes sense to you, then you make sense of it. I remember in a past relationship, I kept on asking, why did you cheat on me? Why did you do that? Was it me? Was I not attractive enough to you? Did you not love me anymore? Was I not spending enough time with you? Was I spending too much time with you? Are you not in love with me anymore? Like, what is it? And she kept on saying, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, right? And so I had to decide, and I'm not saying just because this worked for me that it's gonna work for you, but I had to decide. What I want more is our relationship. What I want more is to move forward. What I want more is to heal. So you know what? I'm going to conclude that why you did that was because you were very lost. You were very insecure. You needed attention. And you betrayed the person who you were supposed to be loyal to. And I'm choosing to forgive you. And what matters to me more is what you do from here. And that's not easy, right? That's not easy, because if you do not conclude the past, you do not have a starting point to move forward from. But again, only you can create the starting point. The moment you decide that it is you that is going to do this, regardless of what they say, regardless of what they do, you say, you know what, I'm going to empower myself right now and stop depending on you to give me peace. I'm going to stop relying on anything or anyone else outside of myself to give me peace. You see, once you learn to create the peace here, the peace out here is created. If you keep going through life depending on everything out here to be peaceful, for you to be peaceful here, it's never gonna work. When you learn to create your peace here and in here all on your own, then life will give you a lot more reasons to be peaceful about. But that's only when you decide to empower yourself and take the power into your own hands and conclude and realize that only you give yourself closure.